First of all, a very happy Mother's Day to all moms, and since we believe in equal parenting, to all the dads too. I
Yeah.
am Reet, and I will be moderating the discussion today. Some of you may know me as Raising Karma, which is my handle on Instagram and the name of my blog. If you have been following me on Insta, then you would know that equal parenting is a very core topic for me and something my husband and I have been practicing in everyday life since our kids were born. Which is why I really want to thank Super Bottoms for hosting this live discussion on equal parenting this Mother's Day. Super Bottoms, as we know, is one of the leading brands in India focused on making cloth diapers and other diapering accessories. Headed by Pallavi, Super Bottoms was born out of a personal passion for sustainable lifestyle. So all you new moms and moms to be out there and other people who know new moms and new moms to be out there, if you haven't started or thought about cloth diapers yet, please log on to their website, superbottoms.com, after this session. And the added bonus of cloth diapering is that you will love their cute prints. So do stay tuned till the end as well because we have a super cool giveaway and you can drop your queries and comments at any time. We will try taking as many queries as possible. Now today we will touch upon the subject of raising together with an uber cool panel of super parents who will be joining me here. Parents, please raise your hands or wave or do a funny dance as I introduce you to our viewers so they know who you are. Starting off with my friends Neha Chopra and Deepak Verma, parents to an almost 7-year-old girl Noor. Deepak is a communication designer and Neha is a filmmaker and a sustainable lifestyle ninja at Technology. Next up, we have Anamika and Biplab, parents of Neo, who's 6 years old. They are founders of Almitra Tattva Baby Wearing and Almitra Sustainables. Biplab is also the first male certified baby wearing educator in India, and Anamika is also a TEDx motivational speaker and a Padma Shri nominee. Then we have Sheetal and Satish, parents of Zach and Zoe, 6 and 9 years old. I love the names, by the way. Sheetal was teaching higher grades at a Waldorf school until recently, and they together run Wagtails, which is a child engagement company. Now, I want to start with a very basic question on what equal parenting means to you and what exactly does it involve? You know, just to get some basics down into place. Neha and Deepak, why don't we start with you guys?
Hello all, Anamika, Biplab, Sheetal, Satish, and thanks for the lovely introduction, Shubhreet. So equal parenting for us is an experiment. After becoming parents, we realize that the whole equation changes the moment a child arrives in between a couple. So we call it an experiment. There are certain fails, there are lots of insights, and we learn, we unlearn, we relearn, and as we like to call it, it's parenting a child, but parenting the inner child and the child with us. So that's equal parenting.
So I don't know whether we have equal parenting or not, frankly speaking. But yes, we are parenting, and we don't know it's equal or not. And I don't think it can be equal all the time. Yeah, that definitely. So we are at parenting. We don't know equal or anything. That's the point. But yeah, it has its ups and downs and everything. For me, everything is like keeping a balance in everything.
I think that's a good point you've made, Deepak, because we do have a question already that had come that if the father or one partner is on the job, then how do we give equal parenting? And I think it's important to highlight, I was going to make this point a little later, but we can highlight it now, is that when we say equal, we don't actually mean every responsibility has to be divided 50-50 equal. It just means it should be visibly equal to the child. So, you know, in case where one parent is staying at home or working from home and the other one goes to an office, the one who goes to an office can actually take on slightly more responsibilities on weekends. That also helps them bond with the child and gives the other one a break. We will discuss this further. Anamika, Biplab, I'm going to come to you. What does equal parenting mean to you? What has it involved as far as you guys as parents are concerned?
Yeah, for us, equal parenting, in a very simple word, is being empathetic and being sensitive to each other and to the life around us. So it's not like in a society we have a very stereotype kind of thing that okay, mother is supposed to do this and there is that father is supposed to do this. So for us, it was like first is like that all the work, like there is not like a very defined role that okay, your mother is only supposed to do like to do the household things after after a child was born or something like that. So it was like more or less the same thing. We started a family, so a child is born, so I am equally responsible to do everything, and the same way she is equally responsible for do the same. So there is no difference between work responsibility.
Actually, it was never clearly defined also between us. Yeah, it just with the flow actually.
And it was primarily with us. It was like it was the cue of the child.
Yeah.
So it's not like that. Okay, if he's crying, so it's like okay, the mom is supposed to go and take care of the
mom
child.
is supposed to-
It's,
yeah.
it's very as basic as simple as that. It's like okay, your diet. If you are there, you can go and you don't have to call your okay. Oh, he's crying, so you please come and take care of the child. So as simple as that, because that we see in every family.
Exactly. I think the paternal instinct actually is as strong as the maternal instinct. It's just that many times it is, like you said, the expectation is so that it's not expected out of fathers. And I don't think there are bad intentions behind it, but the conditioning is so strong, and which is why discussions like these will probably help break that preconceived notion that many people have.
Yeah.
Next to you guys now, I want to know, Sheetal and Satish, how has your equal parenting journey been so far? You know, you guys have 2 kids, so you obviously have a lot more experience with it. How did it start for you, and how has it been to continue with it?
Well, actually, for us, even before we were parents, we used to share everything, whether it is bouncing off ideas with one another, or doing the household chores. Satish could cook sometimes I would cook, or you do the dishes or clean the house and all of that. And basically the idea is to break gender stereotypes, where we always look at, okay, kitchen is the domain of the mother, and washing vessels is something that the ladies do. So our household help used to get really frazzled when they used to look at Satish washing the vessels. She's Naku, Sahibla, Naku. And we used to be like, why? This is his house. Why shouldn't he wash vessels? What's the problem? No. How can he wash the vessels?
Yeah.
So it was quite crazy. And then he was like, why? This is my house. If I have to wash vessels, so be it. I will do it. And that's also another way to show our son that it's okay to help in the house every once in a while.
So we are looking at parenting as in not just being parents but being partners. So and that is how we've been in every part. Even in our business, we've been partners. Even my work, advertising, I will discuss with her. It's not like she is an expert in advertising, or I'm a great teacher or whatever. But she would discuss her things with me, and I would discuss. So it was not about equal things. There are something which I can do better and something which she can do better. And when we actually met, I think there was some kind of even better kind of thing. So I think that partnership is what. So when parenting came naturally, the way Deepak has said, even the way Biplab has said, is like it's almost like naturally. ऐसा हम लोगों ने सोचा नहीं कि हम लोग equal parenting करेंगे. It was like ऐसा ही है. So it's funny when people when I'm traveling with the kids out of Bombay alone because she has school, the people on the train or on the flight will say, they don't have a mother. Where's the mother? But when she travels alone with the kids, nobody asks her anything. Like it's like so as if I'm doing a very big deal by doing my responsibility. अरे यार आप इतना महान हो, आप हंडी साफ करते हो. I said, what's the big deal?
This exactly same scene has happened with my husband when he was traveling with Karma to Delhi once. And from the cab driver to the air hostess,
where is the mother?
And the cab driver came to pick us up downstairs. So I'm waving bye because I was very happy. 4 days of Shanti, no one in the house.
Yeah.
And he's like, Madam nahi aa rahi.
Correct.
कैसी माँ है? Yeah.
But the thing is, it is so unexpected, and that's kind of also reflects the problem that we have in terms of expectations, that people just don't expect this to happen, which is sad in a way. I don't again think that there's any bad thoughts behind it, but the grooming or the conditioning is as such that it hasn't occurred that fathers are capable of doing everything. And even your thing about the washing dishes and your help was so surprised when Nirvana was born 5 months ago. And she was, I think, when we came back from the hospital and stuff, and Karan was giving her a bath. And my evening help was, she like, Bhaiya, aap bana la rahe ho? And she recorded it and sent it to her entire khandan, and and her grandmother replied कि मैंने 60 साल में नहीं देखा, and I was just like, and we were, it was really, honestly, that was an eye opener for us also, because we didn't realize that how much it is inbuilt to not expect it out of fathers.
Yeah.
That to us it has never been, it came very naturally, because this is how we always were. When we moved in, we were very young and we were living abroad, so we had no money to have maids, or how we had to do everything ourselves, both of us, and
Yes.
work, and it just kind of flowed into it. Now I want to also ask that, okay, fine, we've understood what equal parenting it is. Essentially an involvement of both the parents in every aspect of life, not just parenting, because everything else that you do also reflects on what your child is saying, or the involvement of the child as well. But why is it important? How does it help, let's say, for starting, just the mother? Neha, let's go start with you. How does equal parenting help the mother?
So according to me, I mean, I can give personal examples, is that so when Noor was born, we were very sure that we don't want either of the grandparents to stay with us.
This is why we are friends.
So when we came to Mumbai, I realized there was too much to do, and I had consciously taken a step back. I was on maternity leave and he was to go to office. Another thing is that you only have 2 weeks of paternity leave.
Yeah.
As opposed to 12 weeks of maternity, which according to me is where inequality starts. But besides that point, what we decided was we had a pati, patni or wo wala situation. So we were like, we are there, we have a child, and there is definitely something, because we are in India and we're privileged enough to have house help. We had a cook, we had a cleaning staff, and that helped me. Secondly, what also helps is that, it's like, so we were very fascinated with the whole breastfeeding, and then, a pump and give the bottle and let the dad feed. But then we soon realized that in itself became a big chore, the whole, sterilization. And we were just going crazy with that. So he said that you breastfeed, I'll do the rest. So it's not always what you read on a blog or you see on an American show and you cut, copy, paste. I think equal parenting is specific to every family and tailor-made by every family. So in our case, I could really, breastfeed, and I would often breastfeed and just sleep, like catch up on my sleep. So while I'm doing that, he would burp her, make her sleep, or play with her, change her diapers. One of the things that happened was that after becoming parents, we went the sustainability way. So initially we had this huge stock of disposable diapers, and then we wanted to switch to cloth diapers. And I was like, I really want to do this because it's good for the environment, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, dude, it's just going to be so much extra work to do. But,
Aaron can have a chat on this.
But yeah, I feel that in equal parenting, you will often face conflicts, which is the sign that you're doing things right. And when you communicate, come to a position which both of you are comfortable with, that really helps, a mother. I mean, as in, I knew that I never had to, I would have my own mood swings and everything, but because you could communicate and get your point across and come to like a situation which is favorable to both, that really helps, especially during the initial times and actually later as well. So,
yeah. I really like the point that you made about how every family has to sort of find their own system of equal parenting, because the situation in every family is not the same.
Yeah.
Where he took over everything else other than feeding. In my case, the second time around, it's a bit of a mix. First time around, at least for the first month, was very similar to what you said. Karan was working from home and taking care of her in between feeds. And but now we've got a different system. Now he's taking care of Karma more and I'm with the baby more, because the older one has to be looked after as well. So next, I want to know, Biplap and all, how is how does equal parenting help the mother in your case? Like I said, that it just came very naturally that both of you did everything. But what was the extra benefit that you feel came to you as a mother? And why was it so important to you that this happened? Did it aid your recovery? Did it aid your mental well-being as a new mom? Because we do have endorphin drops, and we do have mood swings, etc. So why is it crucial, especially for the initial baby care stage?
So actually, for us, while I conceived, okay, we were tuning our lives according to the baby to come. So whether the school that the child will go to, because we had already decided that the child will go for an alternate education. So right from we were tuning ourselves according to the child who will come. So our jobs, our work, everything was like kind of decided between us that what are we going to do.
We reshuffled our whole life.
We reshuffled our whole life actually
on according to the child. And one thing I just wanted to, Neo came as a Domino's delivery. It was like, we never thought that it would be so quick in my life. So it was like, I still remember the whole thing. So like she was feeling a bit pain, and it was like her sister's birthday, and it was Holi. So in the evening, I said, okay, before going there, let's go to a doctor, because if you're feeling unwell. So we went, he said that, okay, we'll do the delivery. And it came, I know exact, and she had a cesarean. So it came in 20 minutes, means I never got the chance to grasp that, okay.
The baby is going to be here.
I was hungry. I thought, because I'm going for a party, so there's something nice to be cooked, because we are the only one like taking care of each other. So like cooking was gone for a toss, then everything was like, so I thought, okay, on that day I will have something nice to cook. My mother-in-law, my sister-in-law will give me something nice to eat. So, but we went for a thing, and it happened in 20 minutes. So, and that time the whole thing like shuffled, and then she had a cesarean, so it became more difficult.
Longer.
So let's say in the movement and everything.
So it was Biplab, I would say, I always say, to the extent that he is the primary caretaker. So as a mother, I would say, I'm telling this on Pallavi's page, that yes, I still don't know how to change a diaper. So I don't know whether you will call this as an equal parenting or an unequal parenting.
Well, if send someone to train now, like after the lockdown gets lifted.
He was the person who was changing the diapers. My son has said Baba before Mama.
So in our case, it was like totally opposite. Like when he was coming and things like that. So we decided. I told her that, okay, listen. So let's say in a very stereotype family, a male is, let's say, called a caretaker or the giver. So I said that, okay, listen, I'll take care of the household, I'll take care of the kid and everything. You take care of the financial. So let's do the whole thing other way around. I don't want to get into that. I will sit at home. I'll feed him. I'll change diaper. I'll take him.
I hope there are lots of dads tuned in, because I really want dads to listen to this.
So smashing all the gender stereotypes to you.
I hope we have, and if it's only moms tuned in right now, please go drag your husbands and make them sit in front of me.
Because every time somebody asks me about my family, I said, okay, let's say our business as well and everything related. I said, okay, I'm not the right person to talk about. So like, if Samantha, please go talk to her. I'm busy with Neo.
Yeah.
So that's happened.
Yeah. So and there was a lot of support because same like Neha, we didn't have our no grandparents with us. Yeah. So we were like, it's our responsibility. So I had my Biplab's sister with me, who was also a strong pillar. So it was like, people used to look at us like, how are these kids going to manage with another kid? But no, I think we sailed through, and it was really, as I said, that plus I'm a light sleeper, so I used to just go feed and go off to sleep, and yeah, that's how it was. Yeah.
Somewhere I feel that, and Neha would probably know this, because Neha and I've discussed this quite a few times, and she's probably read it on my post as well, the older ones, where I talked about how I actually found it more stress-free not having the grandparents over, because everything was decided by Karan and I. So whatever we did with the baby, was be it the first time or the second time, was based on our research, how we wanted to raise our kid, and there was less interference. So because of that, I had less mental stress. So even if I was physically tired, because during the day, he would cook my meals and clean the house and take care of her while working from home, and at night I would take over. But essentially we were living in Singapore then, and we didn't have any house help, so everything else also had to be done by us, and we moved houses when she was a month and a half old, when Karma was a month and a half old. But so even though physically we were sort of tired, mentally we were very stress-free. We were actually very enjoying our newborn baby days, you know. And I think that actually comes on when a couple takes on that, you know, we want to take care of our kids together, and it also helps you bond. And then another advantage to that is that as the baby grows, you sort of learn to understand your baby really well. And that happens for both parents again, because otherwise a lot of fathers would not understand what the different cries of a baby mean. Like, are they hungry? Have they done poo-poo? What is the scene? So the second that involvement comes from day one, I think helps both of them understand their baby. Two, it, you know, it also gives a mom a break. I think 2-3 weeks after my delivery, Karan sort of just started chucking me out of the house on weekends. That go out, because I had started expressing milk. And he's like, you know, go out for brunch with your friends and stuff. And she would stay with him without crying, without missing me. And I could actually go for a coffee or a brunch. And I also went out back to work for 3-4 days where he worked from home. And I actually had, because they had an emergency, and I went back. And none of those, and I would pump at work, and I had it luckily enough stock in the fridge. So that bonding with the father and the baby happens when the parents actually, before having the baby as well, decide that we want to do this together. But it's also never too late to start. And which is why I'm going to come to Satish and Sheetal next, because you have 2 kids. So which means you will be able to give us a slightly longer experience of how equal parenting helps, you know, not just Sheetal, but also both your kids. You know, with one experience, like just a quick wrap up of how with the first child when you guys did it, but how it was balancing with 2 kids, because I know at that point of time, being a mom of 2 myself, that you don't have the same access as parents to both the kids. You know, one will have to watch one more and the other one will have to. How did you guys create that balance of equal parenting with 2 kids?
So actually our the graph, like, you know, it's also been learning. Like, you know, when you master it and you have one kid and you say, अरे ये तो हम लोग ने master कर दिया, दूसरा बच्चा आ गया, and like, you know, and all the rules change. Yeah. And also what is happening is, you know, other life also, when my second child was born, my son, okay, and we had kind of, first child was the daughter. So we were like, hey, this is, you know, and I kept on pestering her, like, you know, one more child, because we are a family of 3 children. Yeah. And finally she also one day said, you know, I think we should have one more child. My father-in-law was the happiest. Okay, I was also delighted. But the thing is that, you know, we didn't expect it to be, we thought it would be like, hey, you know, I say copy paste. But also what happened is at that moment also, you know, my career also, I was then heading an agency. And that is what also was not expected. So I think, you know, then that is a time where, you know, I kind of, it was like we were like, you know, together. And that is the time where everything became like, I was very shaky, you know, very irregular timings and all, like, and then she held the fort. And then, you know, then after that, then again I came back. So I left my mainline advertising and I said, you know, I want to be at home. I want to be with my children. I want to look at an alternative way how I can manage my own time. And that is what we've been doing since 2016. And the thing is that I think that, you know, always what has been is that one person has been like, you know, holding firm, while the other person has been like, you know, flowing. So when I have been holding firm, she has been kind of flowing, and when she's holding firm, I am flowing. And I think that is what, you know, what Deepak very nicely put in the beginning is saying, it's not about equal parenting, it's unequal also. So when I see Leander Pace also playing, you know, with Martina Navratilova, when you see him playing with her, it's like, you know, she's a great champion. Why would she play doubles? But when I see them together, the way they're playing is like, you know, sometimes he's going in the front, sometimes he's going behind. They are both watching each other. And I think that is what our parenting style has been. And not like, you know, to put pressure on. I keep on telling fathers, like, you know, it's not about putting pressure on fathers. Like, you know, don't drag them and say, hey, you know, you need to be equally responsible. Yeah. The thing is that I know that, you know, that we have different responsibilities. We have different makeups. But we also acknowledge each other's strengths and weaknesses and say, hey, you're good at this, you take this.
So I'll just bring, it's a very good point you raised, and we have a question related to this, which I want to also address, because I think it's a good point to address it. You know, someone has asked that if both parents are working, then who will take care of baby? Did you all have house help maid? Wouldn't that affect the character of the child growing up? And since you mentioned over here that you also took a look at alternative careers and, you know, and decided to be at home more, I think just to address it, that yes, in case you do have both of you have office sort of work, in that case, there would be a need for some support structure. There would probably not be a choice, be it a daycare, be it grandparents being around, or then one person would actually have to take a bit of a break or a short-term break, at least for a year till the kid is old enough to go to a daycare in order to manage the baby. But you can actually do equal parenting then, because it's not as if you will not have the child with you at any time. So be it after work, or be it on weekends, or be it when the grandparents are not there, equal parenting doesn't really mean that every hour or every day both parents are taking care of every responsibility of the child equally. It is a long-term view, it is a lifestyle, and like he said, that when one parent is the foundation, then the other one probably flows in and out, and at other times it's the other parent who's the foundation and the first one flows in and out. So you have to create a balancing act so that your child knows that you are both accessible and your child is comfortable with both of you equally. That is what essentially equal parenting means. And coming to that, Neha, I want to ask, we've discussed mom, we've discussed how both parents have sort of worked together to bring support structure for a mother and breaking the stereotypes around that baby care is only related to the mother. How does it benefit the child? Why is equal parenting so important? That why should, as parents, should we practice it for the sake of our children? What is the child gaining out of it?
Okay, so so I think there's one word which is called teamwork. Like the sports example that Satish also gave, it's when a child is growing up in an equal parenting environment, what they're seeing is not polarities. What they're seeing is teamwork happening. So that is something that gets ingrained, because primarily our children are imitative learners. We tell them something, they might not learn it, but they learn when they see things happening around them. And personally, what I have seen, and I've discussed with a couple of specialists also, is that children born and brought up in equal parenting and gender neutral households tend to have a higher EQs, which is emotional quotient. Because since birth, since the beginning, what they're seeing is parents working in collaboration, parents being committed to resolving conflicts or facing challenges. And that is essentially what we need in the world today also. So, I feel that is, you raise up change makers in a very unconscious or subconscious way. That's a personal experience.
To carry on with that thought, like what I think, the best education which we can give to our kids is to be a responsible citizen and a contributing citizens. Now the thing is, I'm talking about where this equal parenting doesn't happen. Sometimes what happens is they see some stereotypes, just as we are discussing, but when they are brought up in an environment where there is no stereotypes, mother, father, both are, equally comfortable with every kind of chore or task, and they are equally responsibly, contributing. Then what happens is they start, developing respect for everyone. Second, their mind is not conditioned to all those stereotypes. Now what happens is they have a free mind then. There is nothing. There's like, I'll give you an example. When we were dividing the chores, Neha took to cook and all, everything. And I was like, bathroom clean and everything I will do. There's no maid is coming now for the lockdown. So few days we did that. And after a few days, I thought, this is kantal aata bathroom dhone mein. So Neha said, okay, I will take that. I will cook definitely. So we will, swap the chores. Now what happened was, we didn't realize this thing, but Noor had an impact. Noor says, Mama, why are you doing the bathroom and why Papa is cooking now? So that was a great lesson for her that, there is nothing stereotype for anybody. It's not that father ko keval kitchen ke alawa baaki kuch bhi kar sakte ho. They can cook also, right? And every kind of a job is a job for human being, and everything we can do.
The lesson for us was that it's not just important to divvy up the chores, but also to switch it up.
Switch it up. Yes.
Both is that's what we learned in the lockdown period.
Right.
Sheetal, I just want to ask, since you guys have a daughter and a son, And so as equal parenting, there's some audio, yeah. Since you has equal parenting sort of helped keep them away from gender stereotypes and how their personalities are developing, be it in terms of play, the stuff that they do, just seeing their parents being so involved in all aspects, has it actually translated to them as well?
Yeah, I think in a way it has. So I feel that they've been seeing us do, like Deepak and Neha have been saying that they're doing certain chores and then they swap it up. So the children have been watching it, and that's the best kind of learning. Observation is the best kind of learning rather than telling them about it. So they've been watching us also, and now what they do is like they'll watch us do things. So now sometimes both of them tell us that you two take a break and we will cook for you. So that kind so they will go in the kitchen and they'll make a mess, but they'll make some sandwich or
But
something,
really,
and they'll
yeah.
give it to us. And I feel also the way we react to each other, whether it is like being sounding boards for one another. I feel in a way it is creating a kind of a
Subliminal message.
yes, like a kind of a subliminal message to them, saying that it is good to take other people's opinion. It's good to respect what another person thinks. Those kind of things. Also, it's important because what we do is sometimes I take a 10-day holiday and I go for to meet a friend of mine while Satish looks after the children. Again, the maids go in a big frenzy and they're like, oh my god, what is happening? Why is she going alone and why are the children not going with her? But in a way, then they realize, okay, mama needs her time. So it's all right. They need their time, and it's all right if Dada takes care of us. So in that kind of a sense, I feel they are understanding how to respect each other's time, how to do different kinds of chores, and how to respect each other's thoughts.
Also because of this the gender thing also, like when I was saying is like we didn't expect, because we thought it'd be the same, the second child, but he was a very different kind of energy. Like my son Zach was totally different, and we didn't even think of it, because now you think about it and saying, "Arey, yeah, obvious hai yaar. You should have known this. They will be, and they are totally two different people." And also we realize when our interaction, the way we interact, and why it is so important for both the parents to interact, because she's a different kind of person. Like there are different things. You can sleep on her stomach, you can hug her, but you can't climb on her back. You can't roll around with her. You can't do masti with her. Like that kind, like Malcolm. He loves to do Malcolm on top of me.
You can't do it on me. I
So
say no way.
so not. So I'm saying is that also they get that sensitivity, saying is like, hey, you have to be different with different people,
Yeah.
and with their interaction without us saying it also. So also because like so he knows that okay, my dada will hold on this way, but mother will crumble, or then, and he respects that. It's not about saying she is weak or he's strong, but she is different and he's different.
It's just body types that are different, right? Like
Yes, they have to appreciate that without telling them.
like my husband's favorite way of carrying our babies was the football hold. So he would just walk around the house doing. They have seen that in photos. He just like it's just there's so many photos of the just holding both the kid like football hold. I don't have the wrist for it. I can't do it.
Correct.
So, but that's his go-to thing. And even now, when he was walking in and out and getting Karma to get out of the room, baby was just in football hold, looking down, looking up like this. So,
Can I
and
add,
this is,
something here? Sorry to interrupt.
yeah, no, go ahead.
What Satish and you also mentioned is that it's like these biases are inherited, and often to create a balance, we think that the feminine needs to become masculine or the masculine feminine. It is we need to get away from the toxic masculinity or femininity, but accept our own. So I feel in equal parenting, often we can accept our own masculine and feminine, and same for the partner. That's a very beautiful.
I'm so glad you said that, Neha, because one of the comments was, why we found it funny when we were talking about dads taking a break and taking over the kids completely. And I think it's a good time to address that question also. It was funny in the sense we were discussing the reactions to it, which were funny. not the situation in itself, because the reactions that a lot of us have faced due to the different situations that, or the different way we have dealt with things, show what preconceived notions are already there and the ones that we need to address and hopefully break through these discussions. There is some, comments coming in about, how does it help the dad? And I think we've already covered this in the bits and bits that we did over here. But I'll just like wrap that up before moving to the next question is, for a father as well, there is something called the paternal instinct. And I'll just take my own personal example. I actually never wanted kids. When Karan and I were dating, I had told him that you might want to think about this because I'm not that interested in becoming a mother. And he has always wanted children. And I had done a post recently about why I agreed to have a second kid, because a lot of followers surprised that I actually had a second child. And I have had 2 kids only because of him, ki uski zindagi ki tamanna to be a father doesn't get left behind, because he is such a natural father. It just comes very naturally to him. He has a lot more patience. I'm the one who will still get fed up and saying, yeah, tu TV cartoon dekh le thodi der, I'm very tired now. Whereas he will continue playing, he will do the stories, he's the one who takes her for swimming, takes her to play. And that bond is great to see, and that bond is naturally open to both the father and the mother. It is how we are biologically made as well. But the traditions, or I would say the habit that has been formed, where most people, where only the mother essentially takes care of the kid, doesn't let the father tap into his paternal aspect, paternal instinct. And by just taking up some work, not only does it give the mother a break and a much needed rest. After all, she has gone through pregnancy, which is a huge change in the body itself, and then delivery, which is another huge change in the body itself. It also aids your child's development, its child's emotional security and bond to you. Plus, it also helps the father know that they are capable, they are equally involved, and the mother is not the only one they're going to run to when they need access or need help or need support. It comes to the father as well. Now, moving on to the next question. Did any of you face resistance from family or friends? This is a question that I had also already prepared, but a couple of people have who are tuning in have asked as well, that how do you convince the elders in the family, especially if you're living in a joint family or you have elders coming in, or elders, some of us were lucky where we managed to tell our parents and grandparents ki aap nahi aaoge delivery ke liye. Initially, aap baad mein aana once we have bonded with the kids, and then you come and spend time with your grandparents. But everyone is not that, everyone can't do that. Everyone can't convince the parents. So who faced resistance and how did you tackle that? I think this will be of help to people. Neha, I can see you smiling and smirking, so you might as well start.
We do have experiences. So for me, not from the elders per se, so we do come from different kind of family backgrounds. His has been a traditional but a very respectful parenting background. Mine has been progressive but highly conflicted at times. But the issues I have faced is more to do.
Nana, we're used to it.
Yeah, army families, but it's more to do with not grandparents per se, but neighbors, friends, like our societies basically. So there are 2 things. One I've heard a lot is often when I'll give, like, we'll go for lunches or whatever or anywhere, it will be yaar tu bahut lucky hai. So this is one dialogue I'm sick of hearing. And the second one is if I go alone somewhere, especially relatives, and they'll be like, where is your child? And then suddenly even I'm searching for my child only to realize that she is home with her dad. So these 2 extremes, that one, you're very lucky, thereby one belittling me as a mother, and second, wanting me to put my husband at a pedestal, thereby just, breaking the harmony we've worked so hard to build. And second, again, this where is your child is also then makes me question whether my husband will be able to do it. So creating these kind of doubts is something that I have faced. And for me, I'm more of an activist in the family. Like I get very, worked
up. I don't have any doubts about that.
But the equal parenting helped because often I would look at him. I'd be like, you don't get angry. This doesn't piss you off. And he'll be like, all I can do is just do my thing and people will learn from that. So
that's the best thing to do.
So now he can share his one of the
So one of the incidents I have, like it's a very peculiar. We went for our relatives, her said relatives in Amritsar. So it's kind of a little traditional everything there. So what happens? We were like normal parents. So so we, you're supposed to go somewhere. It's just a few blocks away, okay, to eat some pani puri or something. So I quickly pick up Noor and chalo, 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 let's go. So I pick up Noor, put her in the baby carrier. So that was a nice thing. So when we moved, suddenly one of our relatives suddenly he came and say, "अरे यार आप तो बढ़िया हो, अपना बच्चा भी उठा लेते हो, तो क्या बात है?" अब I didn't realize कि वो कैसे क्यों बोल रहे हैं ऐसा चीज. Suddenly Neha was all के ये अभी रिलेटिव को कुछ सुनाना पड़ेगा इक्वल पेरेंटिंग के बारे में ये सब तो like it doesn't have to be because I thought a little वो बोलते हैं कि आप तो बच्चा उठा लेते हो, हमारे तो दो बच्चे 13-14 साल के, हमने तो आज तक उनको नहीं उठाया. मतलब he was kind of in a manly tone. He said कि हमें तो बच्चा उठाने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती kind of a thing. But I feel little pathetic towards them and यार अब if you have a baby and you doesn't have a warmth for it and you kind of don't have a bond for it, then what is the purpose of having a baby? I felt a little pathetic for them. But yeah, it happens that a few people come here and there and they say something or that. But instead of listening to them, I kind of listen to myself, okay, I should be in great bond with my kid and nothing else matters.
I think we have a question about how do we convince, in a joint family where my husband wants to share the load, he wants to help out, but everyone else is like, nahi, nahi, tumse nahi hoga. And, I'm going to add one point over here and then I'm going to throw this out to you guys as well in case there's any advice for people who are sharing this. What we had done, we didn't really face that many problems after the baby was born. Before that, there were a lot of inhibitions, but both the grandfather stepped in and said, let the kids do what they want. And worst case scenario, if they need you, you can just go. But one thing was to actually sit down and have a chat with the ecosystem that included the grandparents, that included the schools, the daycare, and saying that this is what we are doing. And our reasons are that, we both feel very strongly about our child and we both want to take care of our child. I don't want to miss out on this experience, something what my husband said. And so I would like your help and support in doing it and actually have conversations from time to time, explaining why it helps, look up research online and show the advantages of it. And of course, no one has bad intentions. No grandmother has bad intentions by trying to say that, nahi, tumse nahi hoga. It is just how they're conditioned. And we also have to understand that, I'm almost 36 and it's so difficult for me to change my mind about anything. So for someone who's 40, 50, 60, 70, to try and convince them of something new also will take some patience and take some discussion. So address that in a non-defensive way and have that chat with them. Make your husband a part of it. Let him explain why he wants to do it. And maybe start small so that it's not such a big shock for them. And then slowly take over. A lot of time it is also their fear that will the baby be well looked after by the dad? Because and once they see that, once they have that confidence, things start opening up and eventually they'll be proud of you. So any tips from you guys, Akansha and Biplab, you guys have any tips for people who are staying with the extended family and would want to convince them that they want to be equally involved?
Sure. See, we are not in a joint family, but still the way you said exactly, making the ecosystem aware about how you are raising your child, because there are two different things. One is parenting and one is the system. So system can be patriarchal, but parenting is something which is very natural. And I think if we are in the flow, it really transmits, because as I said that we are not in a joint family, but even our house help, okay, we all are on same page. We speak the same language. When I say we speak the same language, we use a very gender neutral language at home. We don't use ableist terms at home. There is a lot of things. So it is just not about equal parenting, but there really, the language has to be sensitive. The environment has to be sensitive. So all these things when we are practicing ourselves, and I really feel that if my house help is doing it so well, I'm sure that, people around also do it. So even if it is my mom, if it is my sister, so they do understand, they do take tips from that. And probably, so it is learning for everyone, because when I say this, it's not that I never used to use ableist terms. I am learning also. So when I am learning, even they are learning. So it is a process. So as they say that it takes a whole village to raise a kid, probably it's everybody who becomes parents together. So when a child comes, it's everybody in it together, and we all raise the kid, and we decide, right? We all decide that how do we want to raise the kid. Yeah.
Good point. We have one more question. Something similar has been asked before. I'm just going to quickly answer this, and then I'm going to want your, after that, I'm going to want your advice, advice to everyone who wants to try it out and how they can inculcate. The question is that in case of housewives, or where, like I said, one parent is working and one parent is not working, I'll just reiterate this quickly because we discussed this earlier as well. Equal parenting, we do not mean that every responsibility has to be 50-50. Of course, it's understandable that someone has an office to go to, and when they come back at 6, 7 or 8 p.m, they might be too tired to take care of a baby, but they can share the load on weekends, and give the parent who has been taking care of the child during the week a break as well, and take that time to bond with the baby. So it is just being visibly equal, not really by number. I did diaper now, so you will do next diaper. No, just take on more responsibility so that you are accessible to your child equally, so that you are capable of taking care of every responsibility of the child, just in case one has to go, be it for travel, be it for anything. Both parents should be able to manage their kids end to end without additional help. That is how I would essentially, say that we are equal parents, because there are times when he does more and there are times that I do more. Now, starting off with Satish and Sheetal, your parting advice quickly to parents
so this is
struggling, who want to take it on, but what would you say to them? What's the way forward?
One thing fits all kind of advice. It cannot be, because the way I have evolved, okay, I think it's different from the way and the kind of job I do. Okay, I can find out if somebody has a manufacturing unit, or their timings are this thing, or the way they work also, they might be coming home really tired. So I guess it is to take one step back, and not about saying I don't think the solution is in the parenting part. The solution, it actually starts with the partnership.
True.
It's like saying, what is your partnership? Are you all talking?
Yeah.
Are you all sharing? Are you telling your wife about hey, this is what happened in the factory today? And are you also giving her an opportunity? I think that is what is missing in most relationships, and I think that is the core of parenting, and that parenting will come out of that.
Yeah.
So sometimes we are trying to fix the symptoms, like symptomatic kind of thing, but I think parenting is the outcome of actually partnership.
Also,
so if you kind of deepen that, then it will actually reflect on the parenting.
Also, I feel that it's important to demand if you feel you are not getting what you what you want.
Yeah.
So there have been times when I felt that Satish has been so busy with work, or he's been so he's been lost in the phone or the computer or whatever, that I would go and I would say, hey, listen, it's not working out, you need to pull up your socks and you need to step in. And he stepped in.
Yeah.
But we need to be on the same page where we don't feel bad if I'm telling you that listen, I feel the children are missing you, or I'm missing you, that kind of a thing. There have been times when he's been really stuck in neck deep work in office. I've taken the children, I've gone to his office and I said, let's have lunch. And we've had lunch. But you need to have that partnership where you can, actually be really honest with each other without hurting another person. So yeah, that's
Mutual respect.
Yes.
Open and respectful and honest conversations. Communication is really important. Biplab and Akanksha, quickly, we're running out of time, so I will ask you for quick advice. You'll have to probably do what you do in 10 sentences, 2 sentences.
Yeah, you are calling me Akanksha.
Sorry, Anamika, I'm so sorry.
I did it twice.
Anamika is no name.
I have a comment here and I just read that out as a name from there. Totally my bad. I'm so
If it
sorry.
starts with A, will do.
And Anamika is no name. Anamika.
Anamika.
So,
Really, really sorry. Super fast speaking, and I have like 30 names in front of me with comments, and I think I'm getting confused.
I think they covered it right. That see, equal parenting comes much later. The equal partnership comes much before equal parenting. So that's where the crux is. If we are on the same page, things will work fine, and it's like the vehicle is going to go smooth. There's no afterthoughts. And again, equal parenting does not mean equal time sharing. It means working together.
It's not like a difference in between table where, okay, you did this, I did this kind of thing.
Right. Right. And just a small thing, like, when we were talking even about role reversal, what Deepak and Neha spoke. Okay. So in my house, in the lockdown, first, they kind of seen me doing dad has doing doing vessels, and he said, oh, go, and he did a dance, joy dance. Mama can do vessels too. Okay, so it's that kind. So I don't want it should not be that extreme, but yes, this exposure is needed, definitely.
Yeah, being on the same page and then tackling it together. Neha and Deepak, what about your two bits of wisdom?
From my side, I think I agree with the partnership perspective. For us, what worked was asking uncomfortable questions.
Yeah.
That works. You ask if you are free and trust your partner enough, respect your partner enough to ask uncomfortable questions, you will communicate and evolve as an equal parent. That's on a serious note. You have
So,
to-
no, I'm just saying, I'm not very serious this thing. I'm just saying the base is we should have a happy, nourishing family. That should be the base. I mean, we should not be labeling any family as such. Okay, that
Yeah.
these are equal parenting. That the baseline is happy and nourishing family. Whereas this thing is like, if you are finding joy, if you're finding a joy picking up your baby and taking care of your baby, please do so. Don't stop yourself from any kind of conditioning. Just do it. Have joy and find joy. Be happy. That should be the main thing. Nothing else.
Don't
As Karan likes to say that he's not here because he's watching both the kids, but usually his advice is, get into those diapers and get your hands dirty and you will know what love is. So, so I want to thank everyone for being on the session. And before I announce the giveaway, I hope we've been able to cover your doubts and queries on equal parenting and raising your kid together. Any question that wasn't answered, because I still have quite a few that we couldn't cover, please continue to drop them in comments, or feel free to reach out to Super Bottoms or any of the parents on the panel on the social media. I'm sure they'll be happy to help out. And now the moment that everyone has been waiting for, which is the Raising Together challenge and giveaway, because we share, we care, and we are raising together. So it's a very simple giveaway with very good prizes. First of all, 5 winners will win a super backpack each by Super Bottoms. And I'm going to go a little off script here quickly. I have actually used the super backpack before it was officially launched, because I consider myself an expert on parent bag, diaper bag, whatever you want to call it. And I have owned every worthwhile one, and this one features on my top 3 list. In case anyone remembers my shoots for my road trip show, where I was traveling across the country over a period of 2 months and driving and shooting for 18 hours a day, this was the bag I took along, because there was no time to open a suitcase for anything. So 5 winners will win, a super backpack each, and 10 will win Unos as well. Okay, the Uno diapers by Super Bottom as well. All you have to do is share your Raising Together moments on your social media. Please use the hashtag Raising Together and tag Super Bottoms. For bonus points, please also share the live video as well. Thank you to all the parents for sharing your insights and giving us, a glimpse into your life as equal parents. I think there was a lot that everyone learned, and I'm sure people will have questions for you, and I hope you can take the time out whenever they reach out to you. And thank you again, Super Bottoms, for hosting the live. Again, from a personal point of view, a topic that's very close to my heart. So I really appreciate the fact that you guys decided to do this Mother's Day. I think everyone can say bye-bye now. Nice, happy waves. And have a nice day, everyone. Enjoy your evening.
Enjoy your lockdown. Be safe. Yeah, Doordarshan, Satish.
Leave the live, people. There's a conference called Leave Meeting. We will chat offline.
Akanksha. Bye, Akanksha. Bye, Neha. Bye, Biplav.
That is not going to leave me for like a week now.
Bye, Shubhi. Bye.
Bye to all the audience, and thanks you guys. It was a really nice
Bye.
discussion.
See you all.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Bye, Mansa. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Shubhi. Bye.
Bye to all the audience, and thanks you guys. It was a really nice discussion. Bye.
Bye. Hello. Bye, guys. Hello, you there?